Wasted so much time on people who should've just been ignored. If I slow down now, I'll pump the brakes. What was it all for? What was it all for? What was it all for? I'ma make this shit count, though.
Good day, good night all. CFR Network, CFR News, welcome back. Well requested, special guest, as always, the one and only Jamie Dlux. Welcome back to the broadcast, sir. How art thou?
I'm hanging in here. Thanks again for having me. I know it's been a while. I feel like I'm not 100% sure of this. I feel like the last one we did, I was in my old house.
No, you was no, or you may have been in. I'm sure you was either in the process of moving or you had just moved.
Okay, all right. Well, either way, that was around. That was shit. Was it 2021? Maybe it was early 2022. Maybe it was early 2022. I'm not sure.
I would say, yeah, that sounds about right because it hasn't been that long. I wouldn't say 2021 is the last time we've had a catch up.
These years are flying by. They're going slow, but flying by. I feel like last year was 2019, but it wasn't. You know what's weird? I feel the same way. I kind of feel like it's like the year 2000 also when I think back, and it's kind of weird when you think about that because 2001 was 9/11.
Indeed.
And like it feels like yesterday was the year 2000. I'm like 19 years old.
Yeah. I'm glad you actually. That's quite synchronistic because I was thinking about time and how quickly, as you say, it's going. Not being able to do the amount of things like just going to do 3 appointments. It takes half a day to do. Where before you could do it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Is it the amount of traffic as well that you can add to it? Because I'm thinking, well, I'm not literally stuck in back-to-back traffic, What is actually going on?
I don't know. Time's arbitrary though, so.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Well, honestly, it doesn't exist. Which really fucking up when you think about it. Here, I'm going to give you a limerick I wrote a long time ago about time. There once was a concept called time, often thought of in linear lines. Though the hands of a clock tick around as they talk, it only exists in our minds.
I like it.
Usually the limericks are dirty, but that one wasn't.
No, I like that. I like that. And to be fair, when you look at it, subjectively, and you take out your experiences and stuff, everything is based upon perception. Everything.
Well, everything is. It is everything. You can talk, like I told you just a minute ago, I gotta go to band practice in a little bit. And in my singer, who's not really into all the stuff I cover or anything like that, he just tries to live his life. And I get that, but talking about it and stuff, oh yeah, I forgot where I was going, but I just remembered real quick, bam, bam, like that. And I forgot again. Hold on, it'll come back. We went to a bar after band practice last week. What were we talking about? Oh, perception. Yeah, how you can't really prove. What is this? Snooze for 5 minutes. Snooze. I don't know. I the alarm for me coming on your podcast. It's coming on. It's late. It's a little late. But he was talking. We were both talking about how, if our eyes aren't open or our ears or whatever. Like, how do you even prove any of this exists? Because it actually, what we see is in the back of our skulls.
Yes. Upside down.
So, upside down. I was going to say that too. Yeah. Which is kind of weird because now the world is upside down. It's like, if you want to see the truth, stand on your head. That you'll be closer to it at least.
Exactly. It's. Did you ever think, Jamie, in 2001, that we would be in the place in this plane of existence at this time with the utter madness which is taking place?
It's madness, man. It truly is. And like, again, and that way I can see it as why people would say satanic, because it's the inversion.
Yeah.
Boys or girls, up is down, left is right. But like everything with it though, like the economy's great. There's, inflation's down. And it's just like, well, stand on your head. Stand on your head and see the truth.
The world's going to end, and then 2 seconds later, yes, but that's going to be in 2054. So don't worry about what I just said. It's so literally by the minute.
It's attention, fear, all that. Let me let her know on
It's
podcast.
indeed, indeed.
Sorry.
It's no problem, no problem at all. It's a total distraction with the bombardment of so-called news which is coming to us. You cannot for the lemmings, for
Yeah.
the NPCs, for the sheeple, for the ones who are still quite lost. They are just literally acquiescing to any form of authority,
Okay, they
any
said
form.
this. We got to do it.
Yeah.
I know. I know. And that's what, growing up, like a punk rocker growing up and stuff. That was pretty fucking disappointing seeing like all these bands just like, just like bend over for Bill Gates and,
Oh
Klaus
yeah.
Schwab and everybody.
Oh
It's
yeah.
pretty, it's
Because
pretty bad.
Jamie, it's the new times now, sir. It is about the bag, as the youngsters say.
Yeah.
Forget
I
your
like,
principles.
yeah, I know. And that's one thing not that I'm proud of it, but it's not, I couldn't live myself if I didn't have principles like this. Like, for instance, there's an old punk club I'm in South Carolina, I'm in Myrtle Beach, but 3 hours west of us is the state capital, Columbia, and there's an old punk club there called New Brooklyn Tavern. And I've been there many times in the past. I've seen good bands there. One of my good friends was the sound man. I used to be in a band with him. He used to live here, but they ended up closing down during the quote unquote
Oh,
pandemic,
hmm.
and they started doing a fundraiser for money because we're trying to move the business. Right?
Okay.
They were also one of the first clubs I saw in South Carolina try to force either vaccine passports and or negative test. And we're in South Carolina. None of that stuff was like imposed by our governor or anything.
Wow.
He's more like redneck.
Yeah.
He came out against masking kids in school.
Mm,
He changed it so he could do a parent permission to not mask.
indeed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it wasn't forced here. So I wrote to him on online. They're trying to raise money. I was like, "Why don't you ask Fauci for some fucking money?"
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
won't play there. They ended up getting enough money and moving to a better place, which is disappointing. I mean, whatever, do whatever, but I won't support them. I won't go there. I
Hmm.
won't play there because of the shit they pulled.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to pull this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's fair enough. The states where it is, this is what we have to do. If we want to stay afloat, we have to do this. Is not something we
yeah,
agree with. And some people said, no, no, we're not going to do it. No, we're going to face the fines and blah, blah, blah. And some people were successfully across this plane of existence in the UK, in America, in lots of different countries, especially gym owners. They were
yeah,
still saying, well, look, no, no, this is our rights. We need to
yeah,
be healthy. We need to be exercising. This keeps people sane. And it's those strong people that we need to be supporting and having the conviction of our character to say, wait a minute, whether I agree or not, you shouldn't have done that. And I'm not
yeah,
going to support that.
yeah. Exactly. That's what I would do. I would walk in. You have to go to the store sometimes. There's lots of Walmarts. I'd walk in Walmart and they would ask, do you need a mask? Like, no, I'm good. And just smile at them. They wouldn't
Yes.
say anything. I was always the fucking only one without one in there. And that's a weird feeling, especially when it first happened.
Yeah.
Like, it felt so fucking weird.
Yes.
I
Well,
just decided I
luckily
was,
you had at least you had the option. It wasn't until later on,
yeah,
after like the third wave, they were like, "Oh, well,
yeah,
we'll give you the option."
yeah. Well, around here it wasn't like that. This one lady gave me it. Well, a couple people gave me a hard time. Most people didn't. One lady gave me a hard time at a gas station. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I was like, somebody's gonna stand up and not do it. And she's like, you gotta wear a mask. I'm like, no. So she never said anything after that. So the only trouble I really had was this fucking asshole at a head shop. I was going to pick up some kratom at a head shop. Yeah, but he's a
Wow,
douchebag. Yeah, he's a douchebag. I'd never shop there again. It's called Purple Haze. So if you come to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and you need a head shop, do not support Purple Haze.
this is
There's
it.
plenty of other ones. Yeah, I
I
mean,
approve that message,
yeah.
Jamie.
Fucking big fat scientist behind the counter at the fucking pipe store.
Like, what are we doing here? It's
He talked down to me and shit. That's what I'm saying. Like,
mm.
yeah, I
Again,
just won't support it.
this is it. There's ways of conversing and communicating, isn't there? I mean,
Oh yeah,
like, we could be, totally opposed, but how do we communicate? How do we see, how can I, put this point across, which doesn't make me look like a total idiot?
Yeah. Well, he did I really haven't been. I don't think I've been talked to like that before. This is, it's been a few years, whatever.
Hmm.
But I remember just holding it in. I wasn't gonna fight him and shit like that. Like I just held it in and walked out after.
Yeah.
But like he got my money and I got my kratom and I've just never been back.
This is it. Sometimes, but Jamie, sometimes with age, with wisdom, with growth and development, as a youngster, as 19-year-old Jamie would have punched him straight in the face and said, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Unfortunately, 19-year-old Jamie probably would have been him.
Oh, oh, of course, because you were just on the cusp, wasn't you?
Well, I mean, I even have like it's embarrassing now. I even have like it's not Antifa, but back in the 90s it was ARA. It's a swastika being thrown in a trash can, which I still agree with,
Yes, yes.
But it was that whole thing, like, I'm so righteous, blah blah blah, and I would get triggered at certain words. I still don't like the words.
Yeah.
Certain words, but I'm not gonna like go try to fight anybody or anything like that. It was this thing, like this like just like quick anxiety, flip out, cry. Not really,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like you see videos of them doing it
Mm.
and thinking you're so right. But it took me a while to realize how brainwashed I was.
Well, look, as human beings, as humanity, especially as young males, we're searching for an identity. We're searching to
Yeah,
find out, like, who are we?
exactly.
Where do I fit in this quote unquote society? I can see this, I can see that.
Yeah.
I agree with a lot of what they're saying and their actions, so I'm gonna lean my aura and sense more to the left, quote unquote, or more to the right, or more to
Oh
the
yeah.
center.
I would have been like at that time far left.
Mm.
I would have been proud of it. And now like see how ridiculous it. You know what the difference is between the far left and the far right? Not much.
Not much at all. It's a name. It's
Well,
literally.
but all right, if you go on Photoshop and you see a spectrum of color,
Yeah. Yes.
it's a strip. But
Yes.
if you in real life, if you take it and it circles around, it's a circle.
Mhm.
So that color and that color are like pretty much the same. They connect once you take it off that. You know what I mean? It's a spectrum. Isn't a strip. It's like, the further apart they are, they're going to connect on the other side.
Indeed. But look, this is the beauty of humanity. This is what the highs, the lows, the everything in between. This is what makes or breaks us, unfortunately, for some people.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Supreme of the UK. Click the link in the description and support the broadcast.
All of the stimuli. It really is. And
do you sit there and like I do this all the time? I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm sitting there scrolling through Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, just scrolling. I'm like, what am I doing? I need to be doing this, that, and the other thing. What am I looking for?
Yeah, but no, Jamie, no. Sometimes I will. I'm not totally immune to it, but generally, pardon self, if I'm on the social medias, I'm either promoting the podcast, or I'm researching or trying to connect with guests, etc.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
I was say occasionally I may, whilst trying to think, oh my God, what on earth video is that? And then you go onto the page, oh my, and then you start doom scrolling, quote unquote, like, oh my God, is this what they're doing? And and at the same time, it's to kind of ground myself in quote unquote reality of actually what's going on, because I don't see any of this, Jamie. I don't see
not do any of us. I don't think most of us do. Most of us probably don't. There's select things that go on here and there.
Yes.
And they can be used for certain things, Yeah, I don't really, I don't go out all the time anymore. I barely do, like I used to when I was younger. So I'm not, I can't say exactly, but like a lot of the videos, like people are out just drunk.
Exact, all that kind of stuff. I mean, and again, it kind of, for me, that's a warning sign. That's an advertisement on social media as a warning sign. So me as a youngster, like if we had, just imagine I started going out when I was going to clubs and stuff when I was like 14.
Yeah, I was young too. I was a musician.
So, exactly, right? So we didn't have, just imagine we had social media back then.
Man, yeah.
We would be more like apprised of what was actually going to take place rather than just experience all of the weird, wacky, and wonderful things of being a
Yeah.
very young person in a adult club and in an adult world.
Oh yeah. Because even as a young teenager, I started playing music out. And I mean, maybe as a little bit of an older teen, like 16, 17, I went to most bars around here, clubs, bars, whatever, because I knew other people in bands and a lot of them worked there. And like a lot of times they would lie and say we were 21, So
Yes.
we had to worry more about getting too drunk because, you act a fool when you're like drunk and 17,
Mm,
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's what you were saying too. And I was thinking, like a lot of time I don't have it, like because I have to be inspired by something to make a video, and a lot of time I don't have that. That's one reason I am scrolling. I'm like, see if something pops out to me, but then it's just like you get lost for a while,
mhm.
and all those
It's,
bad. Like while I was watching today, because you see all these videos about people getting killed in the streets or
yeah.
shot and beat everything.
Hmm.
Then other videos of cute animals
Yes.
and babies and like sweet things humans do and stuff. And like I can't help. I have two young kids, make you tear up a little bit.
Of
And I was
course.
thinking today, I was like, oh, you know what? Even though we're not supposed to tear up, we're not supposed to cry. Not cry, but you get tears. I get tears in my eyes. I would much rather see that than all people getting killed and all
Indeed.
that shit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as of the last I would say month or so, my feed, I can just scroll maybe just for like one or two scrolls, and there's a snuff movie on
Yeah,
X.
really.
Yeah, there's like people getting their
Well,
head
yeah. Well, I get.
cut
Yeah, you're
off,
right.
and
You say
run
snuff,
over.
and I'm thinking of the movie 8 mm or whatever. Like sex kill, but it's not people getting killed on video. Yeah, yeah, all over the
Yes,
fucking place,
or
all the time.
everywhere. And I mean, for some
No,
strange reason,
seriously. Well, I think part of it is the sensitize us
even
to
further.
seeing. Yeah, yeah. You know what
That's
I don't like?
hmm.
The people climbing buildings shit. That shit freaks me out. Stop doing that. People climbing build and then like they fall too. But even if they don't fall, what the fuck do you think? Spider Man.
Well, do you remember the let's see when this would have been. I stumbled across, I don't know what you call it, but it would have been, I would say at least 5+ years ago. These extreme like climber type people. Well, I wouldn't even call them climbers,
Parkour, not parkour.
not
Is it parkour?
parkour, not when they're jumping and doing all
Uh,
that stuff. They're
yeah,
literally standing on top of skyscrapers,
yeah.
videotaping themselves doing the handstands and all kind of
Oh my
stupid stuff.
god, yeah, yeah. That's so dumb. Somebody died here at a hotel a couple years ago doing that off the balcony. And the fucked up thing is that hotel. I'd never been there before until Jason Burmis is right.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So Jason Burmis was here. He was on some kind of like tour thing where they were speaking or whatever.
Hmm.
And he just happened to be like it came to my town. He happened to come here for like 3 days. So I went and met him up at his hotel and we did a podcast there or whatever.
Hmm.
Smoked a big fat blunt on his fucking hotel balcony, right? We were way up. That motherfucker can smoke. I'm saying,
I can
like
imagine.
he made me feel like a bitch. I was like joking. But then I went to his thing or whatever. Well, then a few months later, at that same hotel, I think it was called the Patricia Grand. I hadn't even heard of it before. Patricia Grand, and it's on the ocean and all that. Somebody was doing a handstand drunk up on the hotel balcony and fell off and died. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It freaks me out. Maybe I just like have a fear of like falling to death. I
Well,
kind of do. I kind of do.
well, for me, well, I don't know. For me personally, and I've spoken to other people who have the same fear of falling. As a
Yeah.
youngster, single figures, I remember having multiple dreams of falling from a tree, a never-ending tree, a tree that you could climb up like very easily, not tall, just like literally a
Yeah.
little tree, and then falling off it forever.
Well,
Just like,
a similar experience. I know those dreams where you feel like you're you're falling and you jump and like wake yourself up. I had a lot of those.
the,
It's a
the,
weird
the
sensation, I guess. I don't
it,
know.
it is, and then that goes into further. Being able to control of sorts elements of your dream. So, example, and I haven't been able to do this for quite some time. It's only of recent I've been able to do this. Um, have a dream. Like, and it's normally like an adventure type dream. Those are the dreams I always remember quite vividly. So, like where
Yeah.
lots of things happening and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I got up, or I would get up, you know, go to the ensuite, then go back to bed, and then think to myself, I was really having a good time with that
Yeah, I
dream.
know. It's like, why did I have to wake up?
No, but then I would go back into the dream,
Back into a
Jamie.
dream.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and literally carry on. Like I've literally paused the dream, got up, had a cup of tea, come
Yeah.
back, and let's start this dream again.
You know, many years ago, probably closer to 20 years, maybe 15 years ago, I had an idea to write a book. Maybe, I guess a novel. It would have been a novel. Well, I wanted to write a novel, but one of my ideas, I'll
Fiction or
split that down
non-fiction?
as fiction.
Okay.
But I would like to write my life story because it may not seem like much to many, but
No,
it's a
no, no, no,
crazy
no,
story
no, no,
there.
Jamie, it truly is. It truly is, and I would urge
It's
you
like
to do that.
life story. I always picture it. I always picture it starting like, 'cause you don't want to start. I was born, blah blah blah. Not like that. I picture it starting with me and my mom in like 1999, 2000,
Yeah,
2001,
yeah.
sitting in a car in a trailer park. This is back before cell phones, or in a parking lot waiting on our drug dealer because we're both addicted. Well, on either a bag of cocaine or some painkillers or whatever.
Hmm.
Waiting, and sometimes we'd wait for like 45 minutes to an hour. And you don't really know if they're going to show up or not at that point. But
Yeah,
what else you gonna do? You're waiting on those drugs, man.
indeed.
So we'd sit there, and then finally they show up or whatever. And there was so many nights of that. And that's how I wanted to start it. I don't know if that would be the prologue or if you consider it the prologue or what. I'm not sure. But
No,
that would
you
be
could.
that would be my life story though.
Yeah, no, because I think, on a serious note, Jamie, your story of redemption and overcoming that phase of your life, it
Yeah.
could and is because you've spoken about it before.
Well,
It's
lots of times a lot.
you
Yeah.
know, it's helping and it is going to help anyone who stumbles across that who is in that same hopeless place,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And maybe one of these days. But so the nonfiction or fiction book, the
fiction.
fake, the
Yeah.
story, just making it up from my head. I had an idea about writing about somebody or like something like when we're awake, we're living this reality, but when we're dreaming, when we're asleep, that the dream is another reality going on. The thing
Ah,
I couldn't really get to my mind was, all right, well, so you're sleeping in the other world, but we're up for like 16 hours a day or
indeed.
more, whatever.
Yeah.
Eh, but I guess it doesn't really have to balance. I mean, time
Well,
really
no,
doesn't
Jamie,
exist. So.
let me add some more to this because you could flesh this out even further. So the concept, I love it, but the detail in which you're struggling is the time difference because we only generally sleep for 8 hours, and then the
Yes,
16 hours is generally okay. So we flip that on its head and say, okay, it's still equal. It's just the perception of it
you're
is that it's
right.
16 hours.
We were just talking about, yeah, because we decided that we're gonna,
Yes.
this is, from when the sun comes up till it goes down,
Yeah.
we decided what the times were, how long it
Around that.
was. Yeah,
Yes.
it's it's conception. It's not real. It's not reality.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then trying to get that across other people's heads might be the difficult part. I don't know.
Well, depending on how complex you want to go, I mean, you can paint the picture as vivid as you want, in essence. I mean, I
Yeah,
wouldn't go too word heavy in that respect, but that in
yeah.
itself, I could see that being a 400-page little, book. And then within a year or two, that being picked up by let's make this into a film.
A
This is
movie, yeah.
crazy.
Then it's like, what if it's different dreams? I don't know, man. There's all I guess you could just that's something I'd have to think about for a while. You could just like have all kinds of shit going on because you don't dream the same thing every night.
Of course,
I barely remember my fucking dreams, but it's because
well,
I hear it at least. It's because I smoke so much weed. But
no, that is, it is. I've
you know
had
what?
many friends who have given up and they say their dreams are so vivid now.
Yeah, well, I still remember some of them sometimes now. I don't know why. Maybe it's the alcohol, but
No, you know what I think it is, Jamie? I think it's the planetary alignments and stuff like that.
maybe. 'Cause, yeah, for so long I couldn't remember any of them, but
Nothing, yeah.
not most. I mean, mostly not. Yeah, like I don't even remember dreaming, but as of lately, I may not remember everything now, but I remember I was having some cool dreams last night, even,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember waking up to pee like you were just talking about, and like,
Mm,
it's like fuck,
this
And
is it.
unfortunately, the older I get, the more I wake up to pee. So
We're showing our age a little bit here, eh, sir?
I know, man. Jesus. But when I was on methadone, I would have the most vivid dreams. It would be like days went by and I had nodded off for like 5 minutes, 7 minutes or something like
Wow.
that. Yeah. And it was so real too. It was so real. It's crazy.
I guess to a point, some people are escaping reality so much that I mean, would you imagine that? Well, actually, you've been in this world. Is there a point where you are in like a dreamlike state on all of these different types of?
I mean, it depends on how you look at it, because in reality, reality is
Yeah.
like a dream.
Right,
Yeah,
yes,
I guess that's from point of view or perception, though.
indeed.
If you move up another level, I always liked Alan Watts's version of the dream of life. The dream of life. Like, imagine if you could imagine if you can go to sleep. When you go to sleep every night, you could dream 75 years of time, or however many
Mm,
years of time you wanted. You could dream it every night and control it. And naturally, at first, you would do everything so you want all the damn time. You would go out and slay dragons and get
yes,
everything you could think about. But after like many years go by, you doing that, you the thing you would want would be a surprise where you weren't under control.
indeed.
You want to be surprised, and
Yes.
then he would say eventually you come to a point where you dreamt. And well, he said everybody in this room right now, but every life there is. That would be within the infinite possibility of pretending that you weren't God.
Mm.
You would dream every life, but it wasn't God in the perception of like
Yes.
a big guy. It was
Create a
God as
sense. Yeah.
in the self. Instead of going out, maybe going
Inwards. Yeah.
inward to it, not outward to infinity, inward to infinity, which I think eventually leads from outward too.
Yeah. It's
You
it's
know?
a reflection, isn't it? Ultimately, up is down, down is up, in is out.
Yeah, maybe that's why some of us see that, even if they don't see that, but some of us see the inversion of the reality we're in at the moment, and everything's
Mm.
inverted. I don't know.
I mean, they talk about the age of Aquarius and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
the water bearer, revealing. I mean, if we
Well,
look at
yeah,
the Gregorian year 2024, look how much stuff has come out.
it is showing February. Yeah. Yes, but you're saying revealing too, and that's crazy because apocalypse means this one means uncover, reveal, revelation, disclosure.
Yeah.
Just how long is this going to take?
Oh, perception again, isn't it? I mean, things are
Yeah, I guess
speeding
so.
up.
Yeah.
Things are speeding up rapidly. I mean, look, as of the last year and a half, they're talking about UAPs now. So they're redesignating unidentified flying objects now, and they're UAPs. So, and they've had that latest thing in Miami, and everyone's
Yeah.
talking about it, Jamie.
I
There's a
saw it.
12-foot alien and
Uh,
a non-terraforming, biped walking around Miami. And in this age, with everybody with the mobile phones and stuff, no one has got any footage of this apart from Doctor Strange CGI stuff that's put up on the internet. It's quite strange. Do you think, Jamie?
I think it's strange because I think anything we hear, yeah, you gotta consider it, especially if any news covers it. You gotta consider the complete opposite. That that's lying about everything.
One
Attention.
one thing that does ring a bit of alarm bells is that outside of the quote unquote controversy, they grounded the airports, planes from going. There was a
Okay.
huge police presence, hundreds of police cars at this place. So
Yes.
something
Something
clearly
happened.
happens.
Something happened. Yeah. But yeah, you gotta take everything with a grain of salt, though.
You really do. You really do.
Got a couple grains of salt. I'm not saying like I don't believe that there's aliens or anything. I just don't believe what I hear about them. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
flesh that
everything.
out, Jamie. Flesh that out. I mean, at one point in my journey, I did, and to a point. I mean, okay, let me explain this, and trust me, I'm not going to taint your response. So was all down, and I'm still a big
Oh,
sci-fi sort of
me
geek.
no, me too. Me too.
And I used to think, yeah, there is I would be a fool to think that the creator didn't only created us and put us here
Yeah.
in this vast space with all these different planets and solar system and nebulas and all this. There must be some kind of intelligent
Yeah.
life. So, probability wise, etc. And as I say, you grow and you learn and you think, okay, aliens. 300 years ago, that word wasn't in the lexicon. They would call something which was not from terra firma. They would call it a lichen, a demon,
Yeah.
all kind of an angel.
I guess it kind of means the same thing though, in a way,
This is the point.
Yes, it kind of means the same thing because it's what because you can only explain something, especially the end. You can only explain something you don't know about in terms of what you know. You have to make
Using
it you could, yeah, like the current language and trends and everything, so you can get a picture of what we're talking about. Without
yes,
that, there's no way to even try to explain it.
indeed.
Yeah, and it kind of goes with everything, though.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah,
like, do you remember a year and a half ago or so, this Tartarian thing started to
I saw a little bit here and there. Yeah,
it's very, very, very interesting.
yeah.
I mean, there's maps obviously where they're, over in the old Prussian Empire, which is now known as Russia, formerly the Soviet Union. There was a place apparently called Tartaria and stuff
Okay,
like that.
okay. I never
but
looked into it, so I'll say that, but I know what it is.
yeah, but if you strip away that element of it and just look at the architecture around the great wilderness of North America, across Europe, across England, we see beautiful buildings and the streets go at a 40-degree angle, and then you look and you see windows are half down and doors and steps going up, and you're thinking this hidden history isn't
Well,
just
yeah.
about like peoples. This is about civilizations and stuff, isn't it?
We wouldn't know, but yeah, I mean, it could be anything because we're on to about everything.
Mm.
When you were talking about there's maps, I found this so long ago when I first started researching, and I was actually trying to find like if there's any proof of like some kind of tunnels under DC. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's a really good website where you can find all these old fucking maps, right? Different, not just maps, but like geothermal. Once they
Okay.
had that, but it goes back further where they're just like the hand drawn maps from like 1600s longer ago, and it's called like Ramsey maps or Ramsey historical maps. I know it's Ramsey, Ramsey, and you can even take them. I did back then, at least. I don't know. Hopefully, they didn't change it. Where you could take that
Ramsey.
map and put it over like Google Earth, and where you could see exactly where it would
I
line up.
found it. David Ramsey map collection.
Yes, David Ramsey map collection. You if you're interested in that kind of shit or anything like with like history of areas and you're looking for any kind that shit is great. Yeah, David Ramsey.
I will make sure I put the link in the description. I've got it up now, and I've just interrogated it very briefly. And that, it's a treasure trove.
Every now and then, I'll even be interested. I'll look up Antarctica and see when they started talking about it on maps and stuff. I did that like a couple months ago, just for fun, just for my own curiosity. But I know I took maps of like DC, and I found it wasn't that I found tunnels, but I found like irrigation or something. This is many years, like 7 years ago. My videos that are deleted, or if they're not deleted, well, they are from my YouTube.
Yeah, they will be from YouTube.
Yeah,
BitChute, they'll be on BitChute or Odyssey,
they
right?
will be, but a lot back then, BitChute was still new, and I didn't upload there. I had it back up from YouTube to BitChute, right?
Okay.
So all the info will be there. The date, the cover photo, but it might not work. There's a good chance it doesn't.
Sugar.
Yeah, a lot of my old ones are like that. Yeah.
But please tell me you got a backup, Jamie. You got a backup some of this stuff? Oh,
no,
man.
I started doing this shit. I started making videos in early 2017 on an old iPhone SE, little tiny one.
I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I still edit on an iPhone, but well, not iPhone SE, but that was a 56. Is it RAM or gigabyte? Whatever
56,
it is.
Yeah.
Whatever the term is, 56, and then
GB in it, gigabytes.
Gigabyte. Yeah. Right. Then I got a 128 or whatever. The next one would be 132. Maybe it's 132, and then now I have a 264. But still, I still got to clean it out every now and then.
That's to see. I mean, technology is so wonderful, man. I mean, look, we're thousands and thousands of miles across from each other, but sometimes the technology really doesn't do what it says on the tin at times. And when BoobTube
Yeah.
BoobTube, who is the market leader in regards to content creators. If it wasn't for people like Jamie, if it wasn't for people like